As we are heading to elections on the 30th of July at Lawfeld Academy in Tzaneen, this is the question we are asking ourselves. Will having a new board of trustees save the Makgoba people? Welcome back to their story. Nna ke nna Makgobaskloof. Let's start at the beginning. Why was the trust formed? It was formed because bogoši be bolwelwa, ene seo be se direla gore dikgwebo tše di beng ka Makgobaskloof di ska hlokomelwa. We had the first trust in 2004 until it was taken out by the court, which led to the elections of a new trust in 2019. The 2019 trust elections were later deemed unlawful. But before they were deemed unlawful, those voted on the day were afforded an opportunity to be trustees, as they were also given a letter of authority. For the benefit of those who do not know, a letter of authority is a legal document that recognizes you as a representative of a particular group. From 2004 to 2022, we only had 2 groups of trustees. So let's take time to look at the similarities in these 2 groups. Number 1, both of these groups, their letter of authority were revoked by the court. One thing that is interesting about the revoking of these letters of authorities is that the second trust, before they became trustees, they were operating under a different name. So they are the ones who took the responsibility of making sure that the letter of authority of the first trust is revoked. Then when the second trust got voted in, the first trustees, they were responsible for making sure that the letter of authority for the second trustees was revoked. Similarity number 2. Both this group of trustees, they have used the lawyers from the company Makgobaskloof attorneys. So this company was representing the first trustees, and we do not know why they parted ways. And there are allegations that this company was also assisting the first trust with some illegal activities, which include getting the second letter of authority illegally, so it's alleged. But what is interesting is that even though the second trust knew of all this information, they still chose to be represented by this company. And another interesting fact is that the Makgobaskloof attorneys, they were representing the first trust, and then they parted ways with the first trust. They want to represent the second trust, and then the first trust and the second trust went head to head, and the second trust won. The question now becomes, what is it that the Makgobaskloof attorneys knew that made them to win the case against their first client? Similarity number 3. These 2 groups, they both agreed to be in 49% shareholder deals. So the first trustees, they had an agreement with ZZ2 where they ended up having 49% ownership of the business that they were doing at the time. And the second trust, when they came, they also agreed on the same deal. To have a 49% shareholder in the business that they will be doing. Similarity number 4. Both this group of trustees, they are not preparing future leaders. Although we have a group of young people that they call themselves Makgoba Youth Structure, these 2 groups of trustees were never interested in grooming them and helping them to become future leaders. Last but not least is the obvious one. Both these groups, they are not working for the community, they are both working to enrich themselves. So now, the question is, what separates these groups? What makes them different? I would conclude that the second trust is trying to be the first trust. They are copying everything that the first trust have done, but they want to be seen as if they are good people. Every wrong thing that the first trustees did, the second trustees are also doing. So with the first trust, I think they did a lot of mistakes, maybe because of ignorance or because of not knowing, because they were only starting and probably did not have a point of reference where they can learn from other people's mistakes. They were also either taken advantage of and ended up in deals that maybe later they realized they were not good. But what makes the second trust worse is that they had a point of reference, and when they had a point of reference, they had an opportunity to learn from the first trust what not to do and what to do. But they chose that they want to be like them, but they don't want to be with them. So in all honesty, the first trust and the second trust, they are probably the same. But with the second trustees, what makes them worse is that they knew what their decision will do to the people of Ramakgoba. They saw the pain, they saw the struggle. They were there every step of the way when the people of Ramakgoba were struggling because of the first trust. But they chose to be exactly like the first trust. And what even makes them worse is that they seem to aspire to be the first trust, but they portray themselves as angels. And the second trust, they like to say that they never had property, they never had the money of the people of Ramakgoba, so we cannot judge them on that. But reality is, we all know that they are the ones who are taking care of Sapikwe. The people who are staying in Sapikwe, in the tea estate, they are paying rent. It's only them who knows where the money that those people pay goes. They never want to be questioned, which is exactly the same thing that the first trust is doing. The first trust is currently eating the money of the people of Ramakgoba, yet they're claiming that the money is in the bank and whatnot. And it's the same thing that the second trust is doing. They're getting rentals and they're spending the rentals for whatever, God knows what. At this point, everyone is wondering, after these elections on the 30th of July, are we going to see any court case going around? Chances are we are. Because let's look at least one thing. They're saying that voters are responsible for their own transport, which in simple terms means that the nominees, they are the ones that stand a good chance, because if you want to be voted, you are going to provide the transport for anyone who's saying that they're going to vote for you. And by doing that, you are not affording everyone a fair chance to come and vote, because we know the people of Ramakgoba are scattered. They are all over Limpopo. And not everyone will have the money to go, for example, from Ramolepo to Zanini, from Ramatabata to Zanini, from Hammanskraal to Zanini. It's a lot of money that is required. And we all know most of people of Ramakgoba, they are suffering. They're not working, and with the pandemic, it's not making things easy. So it means that not everyone is afforded a fair chance to come and vote because transport will not be provided. So isn't this an excuse for another court battle? This was just a simple comparison of these two groups. Will we have a different type of group, or we're going to have the same behavior? We can only keep wondering. Thank you for tuning into their story. Please subscribe to our channel, comment down below with your views, and we'll see you in our next upload.